Dr. Victoria, you are a veterinary surgeon?
Correct.
Now, there is a case here which I think you may have some information about, but ostensibly the complaint is that a chicken has been sold, I'll call it sold, from one chicken coop and been introduced to another. And it appears that that chicken may have been a carrier of something called northern fowl mite. Do you know what northern fowl mite is, please?
It is a mite which has to live on a bird, in this case could have been a chicken, for the whole of the mite's life.
Can northern fowl mite jump species and end up causing an irritant to other animals, dogs, cats and perhaps humans?
No, not that particular mite.
Why not, madam?
Because the northern fowl mite has a cousin.
Goodness me.
It's called the red mite.
How common is the red mite in poultry?
Very. And in wild birds as well. It's a major problem in commercial housing and in backyard housing. It's very difficult to get rid of.
One of the complaints is that it appears to the purchaser that she's been sold the wrong kind of bird. Are you able to identify what species the red bird is?
Yes, it'd be something like a warren, a hybrid.
Now, it's not a Rhode Island red, is
No.
that right?
It could easily have Rhode Island red in its parentage because that's how the hybrids were developed years ago. But the Rhode Island red pure breed is pretty well the colour of the desk. It's a very dark, reddy brown.
And are they kind of more expensive to buy?
Oh, yes.
What are we talking about?
30, 35 pounds a bird.
Whereas £14 would be more reasonable for a hybrid of this sort.
Because it's a very good egg layer.
Doctor, what's happened subsequently, and I'm confident that this is the case, that these batch of red hybrid chickens that were bought, there were 4 of them, that's one, and there were 3 remaining.
More.
One is given away to the applicant here. The other 3 are remaining. The one that's there seems to have acquired this mite and has got consequent symptoms as a result. The other 3 that are at the defendant's yard do not have any symptoms whatsoever. In fact, they seem to be completely asymptomatic. Can you draw any conclusions from that at all?
That one chicken could have acquired red mite from where it was bought. It's difficult to be precise, but it is carried by wild birds, and the avian influenza scare, the rules and regulations recommend now that wild birds are kept away from feeders and drinkers to avoid exactly this changeover of parasites.
It is possible that you had a perfectly healthy chicken brought, again, I have to tell you, into a yard that appears to me to be perfectly reasonable. And, in fact, looks like a very good and thoughtful owner of chickens, that the mite could have been carried by a wild bird that got into the coop or near to the coop. Are there any other wild animals that carry that particular red mite that also might have passed it on?
Doesn't like mammalian blood. The chicken blood, the red blood cells have nucleus in, which is very different from mammalian red blood cells, which do not.
Why then, in the life of the mite, would it end up biting a human being?
Because it needs to feed.
Yes, but it doesn't like them, so you're saying
No.
they don't stay very long?
No, they don't. They might take 1 or 2 bites. I mean, I have been bitten by red mites, and yes, they're very itchy, but the itchy doesn't last very long, and I managed to get rid of them by showering them down the drain, frankly.
Understood.
I do have a cat of my own who follows me about all over the place. Would they have jumped on her?
It's possible.
And she's not got anything either.
Thank you very much. For more Judge Rinder cases, click here. And if you've got a legal issue of your own, get in touch with us by clicking over here.